I'm going to start out with a heavy question. I want you guys to be honest. If I were to break into each of your homes, who has the most stolen Daily Planet memorabilia that no one knows about?
No one. Not me. I wanted to take the globe, but it was too big, you know? And I was hoping that they had mini globes on a desk. I'm like, oh, because I'm going to take that. But they didn't. They didn't. It was only the big globe, and I said, you know, that sitting in my backyard would be kind of obvious, you know, and then how I was going to get it there anyway. But
with a can-do attitude, Wendell Pierce, that's how.
That's right.
I feel like he could do it.
That's right.
Right? Guys?
I didn't take anything.
I cooled my jets on merch because in the past I used to love, it's one of the best part, you get to wear this stuff and like there's so much cool, but I used to do it in the past and my friends would be like, you can't wear stuff from things that you're in public. That's a really weird thing to do, and I get that. It would be weird if walking around in a Superman jacket and someone recognizes you and you're like, right, come on. I'm the guy.
Have you done this before? Have you walked around in
Well, like in the past, like, well, because you get, when you do a show, you always get like a really nice jacket or a cool t-shirt, and it's fun. But then like you get recognized and they're like, oh, like, and you can see in their eyes, they're like, that's weird that do you want to be recognized? And so I didn't like, I wish I got more merch. I
have a little, this isn't from set, so this is but I have a little keychain that my friend got me, a little Lego thing to go on that's Superman. And I said to Rachel the other day, like, hey, do you want one? And she's like, I don't think I can be walking around with a Superman keychain on my, it's a little,
David makes it his whole personality. He's just like always gets Superman.
He's on street corners like,
Right?
You see who I am? It's appropriate to ask this question in this room because you guys portray journalists very well. I'd love to talk about Will Reeve being in this movie. The significance of the way our audience lit up when we saw him on the TV, when we saw him reporting. I'm just sort of curious what that means to you guys to have that legacy of Christopher Reeve in this movie, have a legacy journalist in this movie. And did you guys, was anyone on set whenever he got to be there shooting his stuff?
No, we weren't. But when I saw the movie, it's a great connection. It's a really great connection, and it's something that's its legacy and is honoring someone who's very much iconic and connected to the Superman world. I thought that was very special. And there's a lot of things about this movie that James has done that is prescient in that way, that is so meaningful and purposeful, and will have a great impact on the audience.
You know, the Daily Planet is a legacy newspaper. It's reported on some of the hardest-hitting stories in the history of Metropolis.
Right.
How do you think you guys are going to tackle the topic of a man dressed as a bat?
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Talking about Batman?
I am.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I had a feeling.
I was trying to ask it in a sexy way, but
Right. No.
No judgment here. I have not,
I think, first of all, we're gonna get the story first,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get it out there first, and we're gonna make it go viral.
yes.
That's how the Daily Planet, because we are up against our medium becoming extinct. Who reads a newspaper anymore? And so we have to be on point. And I, as an editor, have the people to do it. That's how we're going to handle the Batman.
That's the boss.
Look at that answer.
That's our boss.
wait, you just slid into character. Like, I got, like, do you want the cigar? Like, can I...
I have one waiting. I won't be here.
That actually perfectly leads into, we learn a lot about Clark's glasses and how kind of it's one of the most important things that he wears for a lot of reasons that we learn. But as an actor, I'm sort of curious. I wanted to ask about that one thing that gets you there, and specifically the cigar. Like, what, it's so iconic to that character, what it does for you.
That was the thing that I was searching for. There's been a multitude of people who have played the role from disparate walks of life and as actors and all. I wanted something that would connect us all, and I thought that first image I think of in the comic book is that stogie with a little trail of white smoke coming from it. I said, that will be the thing that's going to be the common denominator to connect us all, and also immediately let everyone know I'm Perry White.
Do you go through 50 different cigars to find the right one, or are you kind of acting that one?
I actually did not go through a lot because you can't smoke in the building. So I just had it stuck in the side of my jaw.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Obviously, there are, without getting into spoilers, a lot of sides to Jimmy Olsen in this movie that we haven't seen before. I'm curious, though, whenever you have a fan base that oftentimes wants things a certain way. They want it the way that they knew it growing up. However was, when they grew up. What is that balance of, okay, I'm going to give you the version of the character that you grew up with, that you know, that you respect, that you love, versus if we're not trying new things, what's the point? What are we doing here?
Totally. Yeah, going into it, that my first instinct was to like do as much research as possible, get it, to respect everything that had come before our time. And the second I started to do that, I realized I'm going to freak out if I go too deep into this hole and just feel the weight, this sense of responsibility. I don't think it's going to help. And then counteracting that, James, in the best way, was like, you are Jimmy, man. Whatever you do. And James is the person who has the most respect for the material. He has such a knowledge of it, and he's such a fan first and foremost. And so coming from James to be like, anything, I'll if you ever veer too far off, I'll get you back on, but just run with it. So it was this kind of this environment of just real like collaborative, kind of creative, go for it mentality. I love that. And yeah, it was a blast. As much as as high as the stakes could have felt, I think we all felt like we were just kind of messing around,
But he is the perfect Jimmy.
It really is.
Like,
Thanks, Michaela.
Your first few moments, on screen, the audience you could just hear the reaction from
Magic.
people. It was,
It really is.
and trust me, I do junkets every day. Sometimes I just go, hey, you're in it. You were on set, and wasn't that great? We were talking about James. Obviously, not the first time that you've worked with James before, but I'd love to know if the material changes the artist. Like, is there a difference between Guardians James, Suicide Squad James, or Superman James?
I think James is always James. He's always been this, magnetic presence, a leader. He's so incredible with storytelling. I haven't seen, of course he's different on every project because there's different, challenges and there's a different cast and there's different energy in each one. But James tends to stay true to who he is always.
I was talking about the legacy of the Daily Planet. It has probably more integrity than any newspaper in the DCU. But if I were going to point out a flaw in the newspaper, it's that you guys don't have a great entertainment division. I'm picturing a great partnership between the Daily Planet and Extra. What are the chances that there could be, just to bring in a little bit of entertainment coverage into, just if anyone can make the call right now.
I can make the call, Jake. I can bring you on multi-platforms. You can be our man right there to get the byline early in the morning, then make sure to go and do a podcast of it, and then clip that podcast up into little vignettes that we could get on TikTok. And
This sounds like a lot of work.
No. Because you're going to do it early in the morning, make your stamp, and you're going to have the rest of the day to
Free. But you have to compete with me because I am the gossip columnist. So.
Well, there is no competition.
Okay.
It is an assist at best. But even Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen.
Yes,
we all sort of need an assist.
But she's my Michael Jordan.
Of course, exactly right. Listen, if anyone's Scottie,
Yeah, you're Scotty. You're Scotty
maybe
Pippen.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Maybe Dennis.
Maybe Dennis. It's pretty.
John Paxton.
If we can keep going. I'm
Yeah,
Chicago, man. We can keep going all day. I love how easily you can slide into that, by the way.